Welcome to the Explainer. Today we've got one major mission, and that is taking those frustrating, completely forgetful AI coding sessions and transforming them into highly productive, perfectly tailored workflows. I mean, if you've spent any time with an AI coding assistant, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You've got this brilliant copilot who, unfortunately, seems to suffer from severe short-term memory loss. Every single time you sit down to work, you have to remind it how you actually like to code. Well, today we are digging into the absolute game changer for that exact problem. We're exploring a powerful feature that finally gives your AI persistent memory. Let's get started.
Okay, let's dive into this. First, think about the fresh start scenario. It's the default state for most of our AI interactions. Every time you fire up Claude without giving it persistent memory, it's basically starting from zero. It has to completely re-explore your codebase, guess your dependencies, and try to figure out what features are already in there. It's literally flying blind. Now flip that and look at persistent memory. This is where the magic really happens. When your AI remembers your exact tech stack and your specific preferences, it just does the job right off the bat. It outputs this perfectly styled code that matches your existing architecture seamlessly. And the best part? You don't have to handhold it through every single prompt. Section 1. The fresh start problem, or, as I like to call it, the pain of amnesia.
Just imagine hiring an absolutely brilliant senior developer for your team, but every single morning when they log on, you have to spend 20 minutes explaining what language your app is written in, what CSS framework you're using, and where your API routes are hidden. That's exactly what's happening without a persistent memory file. Because the AI has to make assumptions, it inevitably guesses wrong. And what does that mean for you? Well, it forces you to constantly intervene and course correct an AI that's just blindly stumbling around looking for the context you already know by heart. It completely drains your time, and honestly, it drains your patience.
Moving on to Section 2, your codebase onboarding script. Let's meet CLAUDE.md.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the core metaphor, an onboarding script. The Claude.md file is literally just a standard markdown file that you drop right into the root directory of your project, but the impact? It's massive. Every single time you start a new session, Claude automatically reads this file. Think of it like this invisible set of instructions that just quietly piggybacks onto your prompts. You don't ever have to copy-paste your rules again. The system essentially reads the onboarding script before you've even typed a single word, making sure it is fully up to speed on your project's unique vibe and environment.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Great, another massive documentation file I have to write totally from scratch. Well, no way. You can actually just type the /init command directly into your chat. When you do that, Claude automatically scans through your existing codebase and whips up a baseline memory file for you instantly. It does all the heavy lifting of mapping out your stack, so you get this really solid foundation to build on without breaking a sweat.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what kind of granular information goes into this file. Take a look at this example for a Next.js 15 app. The memory file tells Claude right out of the gate to use the app router, Tailwind for styling, and Drizzle for the database ORM. But it goes way deeper into stylistic choices, too. We're talking two-space indentation, a strict preference for named exports, and a hard rule to use server actions instead of traditional API routes. Because all these granular instructions load instantly, when you ask for a new React component, you're not getting generic boilerplate. You're getting a component styled perfectly with Tailwind, formatted with two spaces, using named exports. It absolutely nails it on the very first try.
All right, Section 3, the memory file hierarchy. Project versus user context.
Let's move to and see how this builds into a really comprehensive architecture. Because there isn't just one file, there's a whole hierarchy. First up, you've got your project-level Claude.md, which sits right in the root directory. This one is super specific to the codebase, and, this is key, you share it in version control, like Git, so your entire team gets the exact same AI context. But then, you have the user-level Claude.md. This one lives quietly and securely in your personal configuration folder. Its scope spans across all your projects, and it's just for you. This is exactly where you stash your personal coding quirks. Maybe you like your comments formatted a certain way, or you have a naming convention you refuse to let go of. Claude takes both of these contexts and merges them perfectly.
Section 4. Best practices for perfect context. Let's open up the playbook. Okay, here's an incredibly practical, quick tip for you. A lot of times, you've got internal docs, style guides, or API schemas just sitting in a specific file somewhere. If you need Claude to reference those docs, you do not need to copy and paste that whole chunk of text into your Claude.md file. No way. Just drop an @ symbol followed by the exact file path right inside your memory file. It dynamically links that context.
which keeps your core instructions totally clean and perfectly integrated.
So the crucial point is how you actually build this file over time, and honestly, the recommended workflow might surprise you. Step 1. Start your project totally without a Claude.md file. I know, it sounds super counterintuitive, but by doing this, step 2 is just working normally and paying close attention to where you naturally have to course correct the AI. Where is it making the wrong assumptions? When you hit that friction, step 3 is to explicitly tell Claude in the chat, hey, save this correction to memory. This approach keeps your memory file beautifully compact. It completely stops you from overloading the AI with useless trivia, making sure the file only holds the truly necessary high-value stuff about your stack and your preferences.
As we wrap up this explainer, let's just zoom out and summarize the core thesis here. The absolute difference between a frustrating, repetitive coding session and an intensely productive, seamless one, it really all comes down to context. And the beautiful thing is, reducing that friction is literally entirely in your control. By investing just a couple of minutes into setting up persistent memory, you stop repeating yourself and you actually get back to building.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What context will you build to stop course correcting? Think about that one annoying thing you constantly have to remind your AI to do. Go open up your project, initialize your codebase onboarding script, and teach it your ways once and for all.
Thank you. Share and subscribe to Learn AI for more AI insights.